It is Wednesday, November 26th, and welcome back to the Nick Watkins Show. I'm Nick Watkins. Let's get into it. Not basically no games yesterday. No Bay Area teams played. The Warriors played tonight at 7 against the Rockets. The Sharks play at 6 against the Avalanche in Colorado. So this kind of opens it up for us to talk about a topic that you wouldn't necessarily get to go into um, very deeply, I guess. And that would be today we're going to talk about what the Giants can do in free agency and just free agency in general for the MLB. Um, it's very interesting. Some trades have already happened. Some people have already signed here early in the off season. So let's talk about it. Um, the big name obviously is Cal Tucker. He is a 5'2" guy, outfielder. Spent last year with the Cubs, had a great year, or had a great first half. In the second half, he kind of fell off a little bit, but it's still overall a nice year for him. Um, it feels inevitable that he's going to go to the Dodgers, and that would suck, obviously, because they're the big rival. But the teams that he's going to go to a big market team because they're the teams that have the resources and the funds to be able to pay him. He's probably going to get 400 million. So that'll be teams like the Dodgers, the Mets, the Blue Jays, and the Cubs trying to re-sign. Those are like the big four teams that really can, realistically land him. Um, Obviously, you'd like to go after Kyle Tucker for the Giants' perspective, but I don't necessarily know if we need that. I mean, because it's been a trend recently for the Giants to go after the big name in free agency, going all the way back to Stanton, Harper, um, Soto, Otani, Judge. Judge became very close, so extremely close. If you guys remember Arson Judge, you can even throw Correa in there. The wackiness that happened with Carlos Correa. But we don't need to do that anymore because we instead of trying to sign the big name, we went out and we traded for the big name. We got Rafael Devers, who can hit 30 homers and 100 plus RBIs, which he did last year, which is exciting. Now that we don't have to chase them, because free agents, power bats don't necessarily want to come to San Francisco. It's not a great place to hit. I mean, it's cold pretty much all the time. The ballpark is one of the biggest in baseball. It would be much easier to go out and trade for somebody. Even though we did sign Adames and Chapman, but that's kind of different. Those are big free agents. Don't get me wrong, but they're not the top tier name like Kyle Tucker is in this free agent class. So you know, uh, going to the Dodgers, that's what I predict. I would hate for that to happen. I'd rather him go to the Blue Jays. That would be the best case scenario. Just get him out of the National League entirely. Um, but there are lots of big names out there. Alex Bregman, he can go to a number of places, including re-signing with Boston. Pete Alonso, his name has also been mentioned with Boston, or he can go back to the Mets. Cody Bellinger is also involved with the Mets. He can play four positions, all outfield spots and first base. Kyle Schwarber coming off a fantastic year, just hitting the ball. And there are a lot of pitchers on the market, and that's kind of where I want to go to because when you think about the Giants, you don't really need to improve anywhere, you know, in your offenses on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, you could improve second base, but I like Schmitty there, and the options at second base aren't really that good in free agency. I mean, now that Gleyber Torres is taking the qualifying offer. And then right field is pretty much filled with Gilbert, and then whatever righty you want to throw out there, whether it be Matos or Weimer or somebody like that. I think I'm totally happy and fine with what we have in terms of all the positions. It would just be pitcher, which needs to be addressed, in my opinion. So I think starting with the bullpen, Randy Rodriguez is going to be out for the entirety of the 26th season, which is that sucks. He's a great pitcher and we'd love to have him, but unfortunately he's going to be recovering from surgery. Eric Miller is also coming back from his shoulder surgery. He's going to play, but you never know, if he's going to um, how he's going to be. And then, Ryan Walker is not consistent at all. We just need some more pieces in the bullpen to get back to what it was last year. And I think one of those pieces that was in our bullpen last year and then, was traded in the trade deadline was Tyler Rogers. And I think it would be awesome if we could re sign him. He's with the Giants for 7 years, the all time franchise leader in holds in a career and I'd love to have him back. 1 year, 2 year deal. I feel like he loves the organization. I think he'd want to come back. And it would be great for us because we got Drew Gilbert in that trade. And then if we got Tyler Rogers back, it would just be ultimate fleece. We would get every single person involved in that deal would come to us. So that would be super cool. And then I also think that we need to get a closer. It would have to be well, it wouldn't have to be, but what I would like it to be is a 1 year prove it deal for a guy like Helsley or Williams, Devin Williams, who didn't necessarily have a great year last year, and they know they can be better, and they want to prove that. If you say, here, take a 2 year deal with an opt out after the first, come to San Francisco, pitch for us, and earn some, what you think you're owed and what you think you deserve in the next offseason. I think that could work out well for us because we only need him until Randy comes back. And if he wants to stay, then he can stay. I mean, that's cool. And then that also leaves us with the starting rotation. Webb is the one, Robbie Ray is the two. Landon Roop had a great year last year, very underrated. He'd be our four starter, so it leaves us with a 3 and a 5 if Verlander doesn't come back, which I don't think we should re-sign him. Second half, Unk, great. He did a very nice job pitching, but in the first half, it was very shaky, and he's very old, so you don't know if he's going to be able to continue, the form he showed in the second half. He might regress back to that first half Verlander form, which was not good. So I think we can replace Unk with another Unk, Max Scherzer, who has ties to Vitello, coached in college by him, was talked about him very highly. Said he was crucial to his development. That would be cool. Get a veteran presence in the clubhouse. Um, I like. I think Scherzer would be a good fit here, especially with Vitello being the manager. And then that would leave us with a three starter. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. If you look at some of the pitching options, the number one is kind of Framber Valdez. And then you got Dylan Cease, Giolito, Ranger Suarez. Guys like that. But the guy that I'm really looking at and who I would think would be awesome to have is this Japanese pitcher, Tatsuya Imai. I think he would be a great fit for the Giants, and not just because the kind of the Japan to the West Coast pipeline that you've been seeing recently. But he was did an interview recently where he said that he did not want to join the Dodgers. He wanted to beat the Dodgers. And what better place to do that and what better team to do that with than their biggest rival in history, the San Francisco Giants. And many people who, are unfamiliar or don't know ball would say, well, if you want to do that, you go to the Padres. They're the Dodgers' rival. That is not the case. Okay, the Giants are the Dodgers' biggest rival. And if he wants to, if he wants to pitch in a good ballpark, pitch in California, and pitch against the Dodgers, come to the Giants, man. You can do that. That would be the best place to take the Dodgers down is with their most hated rival. So that's the one I want. That would be my biggest free agent wish list. Realistically, of course, Tetsuya Imai. Come to the Giants, please. Please come to the Giants. We would love to have you. He's 27 years old. This is the guy who said that he doesn't want to pitch in Japan anymore because it's too boring because hitters don't try and hit homers off of him. This guy just seems like a dog. So please come to the Giants, bro. Do not. He doesn't want to go to the Dodgers. Thank goodness. Um, I think. Yeah, I would. That's who I want to come to the Giants is Tetsuya Imai. But obviously, there are a lot of other good pitchers on the market. As long as we can get one number three starter, who can be a good pitcher for us. If you're in a three-game playoff set and you got Webb, Ray, and then you want to find a guy who is intimidating and is not like obviously Roop is great. I expect him to be good again, but you want a pitcher who can take the ball in a winner take all game and just deal. And I think Emai can be a guy who can do that for us. So that's gonna do it for today's episode. We got Thanksgiving football tomorrow. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll just talk about football all day tomorrow. But we got a little baseball talk today sprinkled in for the off season. It's going to be fun. I hope the Giants can do some great things. And I'm excited. It's a great time for sports. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.